It's December 19th. Ordered from the Val Vista baseline location and got raw meat.
Back in 2022, the MrBeast Burger empire looked untouchable. The brand exploded with over 2,000 virtual restaurants spread across multiple countries, racking up hundreds of millions in revenue and owning the delivery apps like it was nothing. It became the blueprint for YouTuber businesses, a sharp mix of hype, reach, and perfect timing right in the middle of the ghost kitchen wave. But by 2025, that so-called revolutionary chain is barely breathing. Most locations have quietly shut their doors, and the few still standing can hardly function. The company running the brand is now suing MrBeast for $100 million, while he's firing back with his own lawsuit to shut the whole operation down. The only legit dine-in Beast Burger still alive sits inside the American Dream Mall in New Jersey. That's the situation now, no sugarcoating it. Beast Burger flipped from cultural icon to near afterthought at lightning speed, and it still feels wild. Today, we're breaking down how a massive rise crashed into one of the fastest and messiest creator business collapses ever. And it all started with a launch that was straight up insane back in December 2020, when the world was locked down and online hype ruled everything.
Money for you, you better come get a Beast Burger.
Here you go. Enjoy.
I'm sorry for making you wait. Chris said I'll be a second. Here's another $100.
Thank you.
I bought that car this morning on an impulse to give away. And since you got sideswiped, I thought we might as well give it to you. Yes.
No, because I was just sitting there complaining.
You might want to give another 100. It's going to be a second.
Here's a burger and some money.
All right. It's nice meeting you. Dude, I don't have any burgers right now, but here's $100. Thank you, bro. Yeah, man.
Restaurants were shutting down left and right, and then out of nowhere, Jimmy drops that now legendary video. He opens a restaurant and literally pays people to eat there. He's handing out burgers stuffed with $100 bills, tossing iPads like candy, giving away cars, and turning a normal drive-thru into pure chaos. That single moment smashed the internet, creating what many still call the wildest drive-thru scene YouTube has ever seen. At that exact same moment, he officially announced MrBeast Burger, and the rollout was anything but quiet. This wasn't some slow test run or soft launch. It was loud, aggressive, and straight-up explosive. Over 300 locations went live across the US on day one alone, and within weeks, that number blew up into the thousands. Beast Burger popped up in places it honestly had no business being in. You'd open Uber Eats, and suddenly some random local diner or corner spot was magically listed as a Beast Burger location. It felt unreal, like the brand just teleported everywhere overnight.
Beast Burger, how many of them do you have?
Right now we don't have any physical. We have 1,600 virtual restaurants.
So you order it online and then they deliver it?
Behind the scenes, the system actually looked smart on paper. Instead of building physical restaurants from scratch, Jimmy partnered with a company that specialized in ghost kitchens. The setup was simple and fast. Beast Burger brought the name, the recipes, and the hype, while existing restaurants handled the cooking using their own kitchens, staff, and space. No construction, no waiting, just instant nationwide takeover. But here's where things start getting shaky. That ghost kitchen setup looked genius on the surface, but cracks showed up fast. Quality control was all over the place, and customers started noticing. One Beast Burger order could taste solid, while the next one from a different location was straight up disappointing. Same brand name, totally different experience, and people were confused and mad. Social media lit up with complaints. Photos of soggy fries, smashed burgers, and wrong orders started flooding timelines. Some customers were saying, "This doesn't look like what was advertised," and that noise kept getting louder. The hype was still there, but trust was slipping fast. And behind the scenes, restaurant partners weren't always happy either. Some felt overwhelmed, others felt misled, and a few claimed the workload didn't match the payoff. What was supposed to be a smooth money printing system was starting to feel messy, rushed, and hard to control. The cracks were no longer hidden. Delivery drivers handled the rest, and fans could order MrBeast branded food in minutes, all without the company building real restaurants. For restaurants barely surviving COVID, this felt like a lifeline. For MrBeast, it was instant national scale. No construction, no hiring sprees, no massive startup costs, just pure reach. And early on, people actually loved it. The launch went viral fast. Creators jumped in to review the menu, delivery apps shot up the rankings, and millions of dollars started rolling in almost immediately. On the surface, it looked like one of the smartest creator moves ever pulled off, but hiding underneath all that hype was a problem nobody fully noticed yet. Ghost kitchens don't promise consistency, they only promise access. Beast Burger wasn't being cooked by one trained team or even one company. It was being made by thousands of totally different kitchens across the country and beyond. Some were solid, some were just okay, and some clearly shouldn't have been in charge of food at all. That's when the problems started popping up everywhere. Sure, plenty of people got decent meals, but others opened their bags to raw burgers in the middle, patties that looked rubbery, missing ingredients, sloppy builds, or food that looked nothing like what was promoted online. The experience was a total gamble, and people started noticing fast. Some people said their orders looked like straight-up parody versions of fast food. Others claimed it tasted like cheap frozen cafeteria meat. A lot of customers couldn't believe this had MrBeast's name stamped on it. And that's the real problem right there. Most customers had no idea what a ghost kitchen even was. They just saw the MrBeast branding on the box, the wrapper, the logo, everywhere. If the food was trash, they weren't blaming some random diner in the background. They were blaming MrBeast himself. As Beast Burger kept expanding, something bigger became obvious. The entire virtual restaurant industry was built on shaky ground. Some kitchens were secretly running a dozen fake restaurant brands at the same time. You could order pizza, wings, burgers, pasta, and desserts from 5 different places, all cooked in the same cramped back room. It was usually the same 2 overworked employees using the same ingredients, the same grills, the same fryers. Health inspectors didn't even know how many brands were operating inside each kitchen. Now imagine that chaos multiplied across thousands of Beast Burger locations. That's when the cracks turned into full-blown damage.
Starting off with Beast Burger, which according to Google Maps runs ghost kitchens out of gas stations, Thai restaurants, and even Mexican restaurants. And it turns out this was semi-true, as they were slinging Beast Burgers out of all these places, even inside of a Friendly's.
The inconsistency got way too loud to ignore. Every time someone posted a terrible Beast Burger order online, MrBeast saw it. Jimmy personally jumped into replies, apologized, and offered refunds himself.
Secret ghost kitchens. Pardon My Cheesesteak was up next, which is a virtual kitchen owned by Barstool employees, and I saw that it was served out of IHOP, and I thought it would at least be a separate cheesesteak from IHOP's cheesesteak, but turns out to be the same exact thing. The conspiracy ran even deeper though, because It's Just Wings, a popular DoorDash restaurant, is just Chili's wings repackaged, and Conviction Chicken, a popular Uber Eats restaurant, is just Friday's wings repackaged.
He even tried tightening delivery zones so food wouldn't show up cold and sad, but none of that touched the real issue. He wasn't running the kitchens, he wasn't managing the workers, and he had zero control over the thousands of restaurants slapping his branding on their bags.
Even Chuck E. Cheese has a restaurant called Pasquale's Pizza that runs out of there, and spoiler alert, it's the same exact pizza as Chuck E. Cheese's. And the weirdest part of all of this is that none of the workers that I confronted seemed to have any clue that this was happening right under their noses in their very own restaurants' kitchens. Very strange.
Yeah, so like, let's say you own a mom and pop restaurant. You literally just sign up, go through the course, you learn how to make all the stuff on a menu, and you just order our ingredients and our packaging, and then you just flick it on Uber Eats, DoorDash, Grubhub, and you can start taking orders, and we let you keep a majority of the revenue. So it's basically like, it's a win-win for restaurants, especially when COVID first hit. It was like huge for a lot of restaurants because I was pushing it really hard back then. And like some restaurants, you were literally laying off people, and then they started serving Beast Burger, and some of them doing like 10 grand a week.
The fixes were surface level, and the core mess stayed the same. So he switched tactics. If ghost kitchens couldn't deliver, he'd do it for real. In 2022, MrBeast opened the first physical Beast Burger location at the American Dream Mall in New Jersey, and the reaction was wild. Tens of thousands of fans pulled up, lines wrapped around multiple floors, and the mall had to bring in crowd control just to keep things moving. This time, the food was actually solid.
Rutherford for a restaurant opening.
YouTube star MrBeast, whose real name is Jimmy Donaldson, has more than 100 million subscribers, and now he's got a burger joint, his first brick-and-mortar restaurant.
Until now, the burgers were made in ghost kitchens and could only be ordered on delivery services, so some fans traveled from far away for the big grand opening.
I am absolutely stunned by the amount of people that have traveled here from cross country, out of the country, and some have never even tried one of these burgers.
The experience felt legit. The branding was on point. For the first time, Beast Burger looked like what people thought they were ordering all along. And by 2025, that New Jersey location is still open and doing just fine, which made everything painfully clear. Beast Burger works when Jimmy has real control, but Beast Burger falls apart when it's dumped into the hands of hundreds of anonymous ghost kitchens with zero oversight. By mid-2023, Jimmy clearly looked done. Fans noticed that the original MrBeast Burger launch video had quietly disappeared from his channel. When people asked if the business was basically over, Jimmy didn't dodge it. He admitted he was moving on, saying he couldn't guarantee food quality anymore and that he had signed a deal he deeply regretted. He explained that the company running Beast Burger wouldn't even let him shut it down, even while it was actively hurting his reputation. That's when things went fully legal. Not long after, Jimmy sued the parent company. His lawsuit claimed they failed to meet basic standards, overscaled the brand without fixing obvious issues, and damaged his name by serving low-quality food under his brand. He also argued they blocked him from properly controlling his own trademark. Then the company fired right back with a massive $100 million countersuit. At that point, the Beast Burger story officially turned from a business experiment into an all-out legal war. They fired back claiming Jimmy's public comments hurt the brand. They said he didn't meet his promotional obligations. They even argued that many of the problems were blown out of proportion by his own statements. Suddenly, the biggest YouTuber on the planet was stuck in court, fighting a company just to shut down a restaurant brand he no longer wanted his name tied to. As the legal battle heated up, the ghost kitchen industry that powered Beast Burger's rise started crumbling too. Virtual brands vanished overnight, customer trust tanked, people got tired of ordering food from mystery kitchens that cut corners and delivered wildly inconsistent quality. Through all of it, Beast Burger stayed trapped in the middle of a broken system and a messy contract fight that dragged into 2025. The situation became painfully clear. Beast Burger is basically finished. A handful of ghost kitchens still technically exist, but most locations are gone. The only true restaurant left standing is the New Jersey spot. Meanwhile, MrBeast has clearly moved on, focusing on Feastables, massive Amazon Prime shows, and projects he can fully control without relying on shaky partners. Meanwhile, Beast Burger's social media pages sit completely inactive. No hype, no updates, nothing. The brand is limping forward under a company Jimmy is actively trying to separate from, while the lawsuit just keeps dragging on. The fall of Beast Burger feels almost satisfying because it exposed the truth behind the ghost kitchen hype. It showed how fast quality falls apart when hundreds of disconnected kitchens try to operate under one viral name with no real oversight. One logo, one brand, but zero consistency. It proved that slapping a creator's face on a product doesn't replace real standards or real control, and it showed that even the biggest creator on the internet can sign deals that come back to bite hard. Fame doesn't protect you from bad contracts. Most importantly, it showed that the internet isn't loyal to a name. People might try something once because of hype, but if the product disappoints, they're gone. No sympathy orders, no brand loyalty, not even for MrBeast. So by 2025, Beast Burger is essentially finished. A few scattered virtual kitchens still technically exist. One real location is barely holding on, and the entire brand is trapped in a multi-million-dollar lawsuit that could drag on for years. In the end, it wasn't a lack of customers or hype that killed Beast Burger. It was the system behind it that collapsed from the inside. What killed Beast Burger wasn't hate, and it wasn't a lack of demand. It was speed without control. Everything moved too fast, scaled too wide, and broke before anyone could lock it down. The brand chased reach instead of reliability, and that gamble backfired hard. This whole situation became a warning sign for creator businesses everywhere. Viral hype can launch a brand overnight, but it can't save bad systems. If the product can't deliver the same experience every time, the internet will turn on it fast. No mercy, no patience. Beast Burger didn't fail because people didn't want it. It failed because trust was burned one bad order at a time, and once trust is gone, no amount of clout can buy it back. That's the real lesson sitting underneath the lawsuits, the shutdowns, and the silence. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. I really do read them, and this video actually came from one of your suggestions. If you enjoyed this breakdown, make sure to like, share, and subscribe for more deep dives into influencer and media industry drama, power abuse behind the scenes, and the stories that don't get talked about enough. This story might be over on TV, but online it's far from finished, and the next one is already lining up. I'll see you in the next video.